it's Asaki. You might notice the room looks a little different. I'm actually in Japan at my parents' house. I came back for the holidays. Anywho, today I will be introducing two plays by the same playwright. One is, here we go, Sugar in Our Wounds, and the other one is, the light, Fireflies. They're both by Donja R Love. And these are the first two plays of a trilogy called The Love Plays that centers the story of Black queerness. Sugar in Our Wounds was premiered in June of 2018, and Fireflies was premiered on September of 1918. So these plays are really, really new. I want to talk about the playwright before I get into the details of the plays, because these plays has a lot of close connection to the playwright and how he sees the world and how he identifies himself. So here we go. Donja Love is a Philly native, and he identified himself as a Afro queer HIV positive playwright. He went to Temple University, and that's where I know from. We are classmates. He is also a founder of the Each Other project, and I quote, "A digital platform celebrates Black and POC queer and trans community through arts and advocacy." So Donja and the Pastry has a lot in common with our beliefs and missions. So the place, Sugar in Our Wounds, it takes place in a plantation somewhere in the South in 1862, the year President Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation. And Fireflies, which is this one, is also takes place in somewhere in the South in 1963. So it's like about 100 years later, in the midst of the civil rights movement in the United States. So both plays deal with queer love and Black lives in the moment of the significant change for African American people in the United States. States. One of the biggest impressions that left me is that there are a lot of moments Donja writes silence or quiet in the stage direction. Remember, the stage direction is what playwrights write to assert themselves, to describe the moment, what the feeling is like, what the costume or set piece look like. And I don't know, this might be me being a theater artist slash designer. When I read a play, I kind of play the movie in my head to kind of picture what is going on in a scene and how they talk, how they sound like, what they look like. So whenever I see the word silence, I play the silence in my head, and that gives a lot of nuanced air between the characters and what is going on in a play. For example, in Sugar in Our Wounds, many scenes takes place by what Donja described as by a tall, tall tree that goes straight up to heaven. So when the characters are silent, you might hear the leaves are making sound or the wind passing by. And again, this might be being very, very Japanese, because in Japanese language, we personify nature as if it has its intention or emotions. So this silence definitely made me feel the weight of the characters are carrying at the moment, or the weight of the burden of the history on them. So when you read those plays, enjoy the quietness of the stage direction are giving you, and take your time and feel how the time is passing in a play. Another part I loved was the characters. I know it sounds like a huge cliche, but I felt the characters are doing their best to live their given life, even though the circumstances they're in is extremely hard, especially for the characters who are Black and queer. Once those characters accept their queerness, however, I didn't see them having a shame on their queerness, which I felt was really rare because a lot of plays that deals with LGBTQA plus issues tend to be about the characters feeling huge shame about their identity as well as the pressure from the society. So it was really refreshing to see they are like, well, I'm queer and I can't change it and I'm okay with it. And this also really helped by there is a strong undercurrent of unconditional love from one character to another. For example, in Sugar in Our Wounds, from Aunt Mama to James, that she is not flinched about James being different. Or in Fireflies, when Charles find out that Olivia is gay, there is still much love from him to her, no matter how she identify herself ultimately. And it was really affirming, even for a person like me who don't identify myself as a Black or queer. And I think Donja says in one of the interviews I watched that he was giving a gift of writing and he's using this as his way of advocacy. So I felt like this is his way of advocating that for queer people there's no reason to shame themselves, or people who are surrounding the queer people, that there's no reason to shame them for being queer. So I don't want to go too much into the details of the play because I don't want to ruin your experience of reading these plays for the first time. I read them on the airplane and I'm glad that I didn't know too much about them and I really enjoyed it. So I couldn't even choose, you know, how I share like a writing from the play. I don't even want to choose one section because I don't want to ruin it. So I contacted Donja and he agreed to do a brief interview with me in the new year. So date is TBD, but I will definitely keep you updated about this interview. And I'm super excited to talk with him because it's been a while since the last time I saw him in person. Like I mentioned earlier, this is the first, and this is the second of the trilogy. And there is a third one that premiered in late 2019 called One and Two, which deals about Black queerness and HIV. And I don't think this has been published yet because I think the off-Broadway run ended in early 2020. So I'm super excited to read that one and the rest of his work, as well as talking to him in person, not in person, through Zoom. Oh my goodness, this light's horrible. So stay tuned with Pastry Facebook page, and also there's a lot going on with the events and programming in the new year. So yeah, just in general, stay tuned with our own website. Please check them out. It's looking beautiful and there's going to be new stuff coming in. Alrighty, that's it for today. And I wish you a happy and safe holiday. I'll see you in the new year. Alrighty, bye.